We finally did it. Multiplayer Gaming Podcast has a Patreon you can join right now. You can now get exclusive access to our Discord server and see behind the scenes as we talk about the games you know and love, as well as uncover those gems you haven't heard of yet. You can have the chance to game with Josh, Paul, and I, and get sweet custom shirts, games, stickers, and more. Just go to multiplayersquad.com to sign up for the Patreon. Hello, you are listening to the Multiplayer Gaming Podcast. Today is our This Week in Gaming episode, where we go over gaming news and what we've been playing this week. I'm your host, Todd, and I'm waiting on my brand new Xbox Series X that gets here this week on Tuesday. And I'm here with my two friends. Neither of them are getting an Xbox for Christmas. Paul?
Nope, no Xbox for me. No shade thrown your way, Todd. I'm glad you're really excited, but I have a gaming PC. I don't really need it, so...
I was trying to pitch it more of like, Santa's not getting you an Xbox.
Oh.
Not that you didn't want it.
I've been a bad boy.
Because we were on the good list, we're getting PlayStation 5s.
Yeah. That's the better argument.
People on the naughty list get the
Did
Xbox.
not see that coming. That did not go in my favor. And Josh.
Hi.
Welcome.
Hey.
Hi.
How you doing, Todd?
Well, I'm doing good.
Good. Paul? How you doing?
Doing good.
Good.
How are you doing, Josh?
I'm doing all right. Todd?
I'm great. How are you guys
Wonderful.
doing?
Oh my goodness.
We can do this for 30 minutes.
Everyone already closed the podcast.
People are like, this is the worst podcast I've ever heard.
Welcome to How Are You Doing with Todd, Josh, and Paul.
How you doing, Paul?
Oh my goodness. All right. I want to talk about the Xbox Series X for a little bit.
Sure.
This could happen on the PS5, like not sure, but The Witcher 3 on Xbox Series X has no load screens for fast travel.
Ooh.
That's huge. Like this is the thing I hate about like Skyrim, Fallout 4, The Witcher, those types of games is the load screens, which like, you know, they're huge games. Like there's always been load screens. But if they're gone, that's a game changer.
Yeah, it's going to make it much more that open world feel where you're not ripped out of that immersion.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the beauty of having solid state drives on consoles, that's going to be huge. I mean, I don't want to spoil anything for a show that we're going to record later on Borderlands 3, but even that one, you get hit with regular loading screens. So being able to play something as massive as The Witcher 3 with no loading, that's a huge step up.
Todd,
I can't... Oh, go on.
I want your word right now that you're going to play Witcher 3 on your new Xbox.
Is it
Todd.
on the Game Pass?
I don't know.
Nope. I'm out.
Dang it.
All right. The thing I'm just waiting for, I know it's going to happen, is one of these games is going to have fast travel. And fast travel, you're going to open a portal in front of you and then just jump through it and no loading times. Like you can just be in a different area of the map. Like no loading times unlocks so many cool game mechanics for really, really large games.
Yeah, because we've seen in games now where there's no loading screens, but that's because as you're walking forward, it's loading the content that you're looking at further down the road as you walk closer. But we have seen examples with the new consoles where it can just load and process so much information at once that you can do exactly what you're talking about, where you can open a portal, you hop through it, you have immediate loading with tons of action. I'm very excited to see where this next gen of consoles can go. I think it's going to be amazing being able to see everything that's been developed in the last 7 years just thrown at us at once. That's one of the fun things with consoles. Like PC gaming, you can always upgrade. It's kind of always something you're doing. But when you get that new console, it's always such a big jump. It's so much fun.
Yeah, developers have gotten good at hiding like loading screens on some of the better games. God of War, we've talked about that before, but that they had a perfect way of hiding loading screens when you were walking through like the ether in between worlds or whatever it was. But when you actually don't have to worry about load screens, there is a lot of really cool stuff that you can do with that.
And my favorite was the elevator. Like, you'd get in an elevator,
Mass Effect
you'd push
style.
a button. Yeah. I think it even happened on Destiny. And, like, the elevator would just keep on, like, loading.
45-second elevator rides. Yeah.
Or if the game, like, aired out, you would just be stuck on the elevator forever.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And at least that was attempting to give you more immersion. So a lot of those games, you would hear voice lines over the radio in the elevator, or the characters would talk to one another. So at least they were trying. But yeah, they won't even need to do that now. Everything will just be instantaneous.
There'll be real elevators now.
Yeah.
Where you're actually traveling between floors.
That'd be terrible. Oh.
Is this the death of elevators in video games? This is a sad moment, guys.
They'll just be very fast lifts.
The beginning
turbo lifts
of realistic elevators.
Elevator simulator?
Now elevators are in games because they want to be, not because they have to be.
Well, Josh and I have been playing Half-Life Alyx, and you do take realistic elevator rides. You have to get in, turn around, push the button, wait for the doors.
And then you can see the floors going by. Yeah. I even do the thing where I stand in the corner and don't talk to anybody.
You can pull out your phone and browse it endlessly, pretending that you're busy while waiting for appointments. It's great.
Oh.
Well, I actually have not had a whole lot of time to play Half-Life Alyx. I'm actually a little sad for that. But we've been pretty busy over here lately. I have actually been feeling very nostalgic for old couch co-op games. Because we've been talking about that on the show, right? Like, we've done memorable co-op games. We've covered Forgotten Gems, where we talked about a lot of older gen games. And so I actually started looking up ordering custom computers that run arcade games so you can hook up to your TV. And they're pretty amazing, but they're very expensive.
Are you talking about like the arcade cabinet kind? Like where you have 3,000 games built in? Or what are you talking about?
Oh, well, they have ones that are way more advanced than that, too. So they have ones that are built that will run everything from Xboxes, PS1, 2, 3, GameCube, 64, Wii U, like kind of everything.
Oh, wow.
I don't think they're perfectly legal, but they are sold online. You can order them, and I've looked into it, but they're like $600, and then you have to buy a bunch of controllers on top of that. So I've just been messing around myself, and I have now just a laptop that I have been loading tons of GameCube ROMs on, and it's nothing but couch co-op games that I can play with my wife and my kids. Because my wife was into video games up through the GameCube, and then they just got too advanced for her. So this is a little bit of nostalgia, a little bit of wanting to play with my kids, really missing the old GameCube games. And so I actually have a bunch of USB controllers coming tomorrow morning from Amazon to finish it up.
So you load it on your laptop and then it routes the video to your TV?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
That seems great, man.
Yeah, so I'm just going to run a long HDMI cable to the laptop. The laptop will be on the coffee table, and I have a USB switch and then a bunch of controllers that we can plug into that.
So what games are you wanting to play?
Oh, I've downloaded so many games. Like, I probably have 25 gigs of GameCube games now.
That's a lot of GameCube games.
Yeah,
it's like every game in the GameCube library.
Well, I'm not going to stop there. I'm going to go into other systems also, but I'm really looking forward to Super Monkey Ball. That was a great one. Hunter the Reckoning, little lesser known, probably my favorite couch co-op game. Gauntlet. I think it's called Gauntlet Dark Legacy. That was a fun one. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, basically those type of beat 'em up co-op games.
I'm confused. Why would you build all of this when you can just buy the new Atari console?
Oh, well, Todd, I don't know if you've heard, That system's $400.
Paul doesn't like wood either.
Yeah, wood paneling.
Yeah.
Well, don't forget, if you pre-order it, it's $10 off, so it's only $390.
That's a steal.
Yeah, I'm good just ordering $13 controllers times 4, and that's it. And then I'll be good to go.
I'll be curious to see how well these emulators work, though. Have you tried any of the games like on your laptop? Because some emulators they get a little goofy. Like the game runs at like 1 1/4 speed sometimes, or something weird like that, or buttons don't quite, like there's lag when you push the button and the action happens and that kind of stuff. So
some of them are kind of goofy, although as long as you set your TV to the right level of hertz, then you're basically fine. I mean, if you try to run stuff that's too new, or if it's a laptop that's a potato, it's not going to work well. But this is a laptop that runs Overwatch fine. It's a gaming laptop, so it actually runs things pretty well. But even though the games are very old, they actually have some pretty neat add-ons that can sharpen the images, and they actually look a lot better than how they did back in the day. Just don't tell anyone. It's not exactly street legal.
It's fine.
It's not like we're broadcasting this to the world or anything, Paul. So.
Yeah.
Well, these are like games that are out of circulation. Like, I don't think I can
Isn't there a
get
20-year
Hunter the Reckoning even if I wanted.
I was going to say, isn't there like a 20-year copyright thing or something where after 20 years it becomes open source?
Statute of limitations?
Yeah. No,
I don't know.
legitimately, I think there is on electronic media and like music and stuff. I think there's like a 20-year time
But
frame.
does a game fall into that?
Yes, Todd, that's our story and we're sticking to it.
Yeah, that's what I'll tell
I'll
the
take
cops.
it.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Whatever helps me sleep at night, I'll take it.
All right, kind of segueing into this next post. Apparently, there was a community mod that's being released soon to Portal 2 that they're calling Portal 3.
Oh, are they really? I did not know this.
Now, I saw this. It's crazy.
So basically what they're doing is it's called Portal Reloaded, and they're adding a 4th dimension of time to the game, but like the way that plays out is you have a 3rd portal window. So you have the blue and the orange as normal, and then you have a green box that basically jumps between different worlds or different times.
Yeah, the you can look up the video. It's super neat. And this is a very, very well done mod. It looks exactly like Portal 2. So, I mean, all of the animations and effects and, levels, you feel like you're playing Portal 2 on this until the guy shoots out a green rectangle and then walks up to it, and you're in a shiny, the portal, like the labs that you're in this like shiny, well-run lab, and then he walks up to the green rectangle, and then you look back. It's like you're looking back in time or forward in time, and the lab's all run down and like, decayed or whatever, and then he walks through, and then he can shoot like new portals too. It's mind blowing. I was following along pretty well until it started getting into like, oh, this portal's in the present, this portal's in the past. And then I was just like, yeah.
Well, it's basically you have 2 different clones of the same level, and for some of them, you have to jump between worlds to solve the level. And I think that's where it starts getting super crazy, is now like you have 2 identical levels, but they might have slight differences, or you might have to use platforms to like catapult yourself even further than what a like normal drop, because now you can drop in one level, go and then jump through the 4th dimension, and then go through like a couple times in the other one, and now you're flying 3-4 times as far. So like you have to kind of think through all of those different situations, or even like you can take blocks and portals in that through that 4th dimension. So you can set like yourself up a block to take, and I don't know. It's
It's one of those things that's very hard to explain. You kind of just have to see the video, and then it kind of makes sense. But yes, it's basically almost doubling the levels and the amount of strategy by including this element of time as well. And I feel like that's going to open just a whole new world of puzzle making. I'm very curious to see what kind of ingenuity they use, but I have a feeling that it's definitely going to make Portal 2 front and center for a little while again. At some point, we'll have to cover it for the show. Such a fun co-op game.
I want to see more of this stuff happen. If I remember right, in what I was reading, it's the guy spent like 10 years making this. Which
I'm
is
not surprised.
Insane. I mean, like I said, it looks amazing. And so kudos to whoever the guy. The only way that you could tell it was different was, number one, he tries to sound like GLaDOS, but it's like he's got a slight accent.
It's his voice. Yeah.
So it's like, he tried real hard and he did pretty good. So I got to give him credit there. But it's
Guten Tag, I am GLaDOS.
so that, then just the green rectangle portal, and your brain instantly goes like, that's not right.
Yeah. So something's off with this.
Yeah.
But it looks great. Like it looks, and like just the idea and everything it unlocks, I think is going to be so much fun.
One of the top comments on YouTube is, looks complicated AF. This mod is not for my basic brain. And I think a lot of people will feel that way looking at it.
Yeah, Portal was sometimes some of the puzzles were tough, but you add this into it, and that's why I was saying it's going to be a little bit brain bending for sure.
I tried playing Portal 2 with my wife, and she just was not having it. Because I'd be like, no, like you have to stand over there, and then you shoot a portal, and then when I jump through that, like I'll catapult, and you put a portal there, and then it'll work out. And then she'll be like, wait, like explain that again. And then it's like, no, like just look at where I'm jumping, and then shoot a portal. And then she'd be like, I can't hit that like panel. Like, what do you mean you can't hit the panel? Just shoot at the wall.
Give me the controller and I'll do it.
I'll do both parts.
Well, I was going to say that's kind of what it almost devolves to, because next thing you're just telling her exactly, no, turn to left, yeah, shoot there. Now look up,
too far,
down, yeah. Shoot there. Yeah. I've had to do that with my wife on certain co-op board games like Pandemic and stuff like that, where we've played with friends, where she kind of loses interest if it's too strategic, because it ends up turning into us just telling her what to do. And so I think my wife would sympathize with yours a little bit there.
You know what bonus round we should have soon? Best co-op games to play with your family. Because that's, especially Christmas time, people are going to have their parents over. The TV is going to be boring after a while. There's only so many episodes of The Office. And then, you need to find a good co-op game. Like Jackbox or something.
Yeah.
I think it'd be a fun episode.
That would be a good one.
You heard it here first.
Paul, I don't mean to call you out, but you already decorated for Christmas.
Oh, I did. I turned my webcam around and I was showing you guys the Lehman household is already celebrating Christmas, and it is November 8th. But today in Phoenix, we had a high of like 64 degrees. This is as cold as it gets all year. So
yeah.
Happy winter.
I got cold today, and I don't get cold easy, and today I was cold, and I was like, it's freaking like mid to low 60s, man. This is not cold weather.
Well, it was like a high of 86 yesterday, so then when it hits 64 as the high, it feels a lot colder. But yeah, this is about as cold as it gets.
I've never decorated before Thanksgiving, and this year I might just do it.
I guess it's confession time. I also started decorating for Christmas.
Oh, nice.
We bought Harper like a Mickey and Minnie, like blow up Christmas, I don't know, lawn ornament set. And we set those up today. And she just sat outside and stared at them and said, I love Mickey and Minnie.
Yeah,
and it made my heart warm.
Yeah, I was hanging lights out front with my son Jackson because he's the fearless one, so I let him go all the way up and get the high points of our roof. I put my 9-year-old in the risky situations, that way I don't have to.
Well, you can catch him if he falls.
I was going to say two things.
He can't catch me.
And if they land, they bounce anyway. So
yeah, he's pliable.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, 6 weeks recovery, broken bone, no big deal, right? So all these cars were driving by, and I kept thinking, they probably think I'm crazy, because we are the only house on our street right now that has lights. I can tell you that much.
My neighbor was out in his yard plotting his, like, decorations. Like, he was talking, apparently, I went up to him and I said, you know, what you doing? He's, like, pacing around his yard. And he's like, oh, I went out and I bought a whole bunch of Star Wars inflatables.
I like this guy
So
already.
apparently he has, like, a 10-foot, like...
Jar Jar?
Like, no, the walking... Like, the walking monsters. A 10-foot Jar Jar, come on.
Dude, this just makes me want to get, like, just to troll Star Wars fans and just get, like, Benicio del Toro from The Last Jedi and put that out front. Jar Jar. Get a nice Anakin rolling in the sand.
That would actually be a pretty hilarious Christmas setup.
Yeah. So we're in the Christmas spirit. As you guys know, every year I make an aged eggnog.
Ooh.
And my wife cracked it open yesterday, so I was like, all right, we are all the way in the Christmas spirit.
It's not really aged yet then, is it?
I made it about 6-7 weeks ago, so
Did you?
Yeah, you can let it age up to like a year plus.
You can drop mine off on my patio, Paul.
Sure. I've got 3 mason jars.
Paul, did you hear about the new Mass Effect game that's coming out? This is actually a Mass Effect season.
Massiest effect. Well, are you talking about a new Mass Effect game or Mass Effect Legendary Edition? Or both?
Both.
Legendary Money Grab Edition.
Yeah, that's a bad name, right? Legendary Edition.
Oh, man.
They should have called
That's
it
pretty lame.
Definitive.
Yeah. Super Definitive Edition. Yeah, Legendary Edition's not great, but I am glad that they are remastering those games, let everyone get to play them again. So I literally did not know that they announced that they were making a new Mass Effect game until I logged on just now and you guys told me. So do we know anything at this point about it? Like release
Nothing.
date, anything?
That is all the news. The news is literally
They're making one.
they're making a new Mass Effect game.
So after Andromeda pooped the bed as badly as one can, I'm glad that it's bouncing back. Because I was worried. I didn't know if they would ever go back to that world.
Now, here's what I don't understand. If I remember right, Mass Effect had pretty good graphics. Like, even going back to, like, Mass Effect 1, I feel like those were really pretty graphical games. And what are they going to remaster? Like, I was reading the little snippet. It's like, oh, they run at higher frame rates. Like, okay.
Well, Mass Effect 1, I think, came out in 2007, off the top of my head. So these games are not new. Like, they are pretty old. So think about Halo Reach and even a couple years older than that. So you definitely can still play it today, but there have already been community mods that redo all the textures and all the graphics that make it look amazingly better. So the games are quite old. Mass Effect 3 isn't all that bad. That one actually looks pretty decent, but especially the first one in particular, you really have to have it remastered or community mods in order to play it. It is quite old. You got to see those pores in the Krogan faces, right? In 4K.
Oh.
So the question is, will you buy the Legendary Edition, Paul?
Without exaggeration, I think I have bought Mass Effect 1 3 or 4 times, like between buying it on PC disc, buying it on Steam, buying it on Origin, buying it on Xbox 360. Sure, why not? I'll buy it again.
What's one more?
It has to be on the Game Pass at least sooner or later, right?
Oh, I would imagine it has to be. Yeah,
because like
the old ones already are.
EA Origins games are on the Game Pass, so I imagine like maybe they'll let a couple months go to try and get some sales, because you know it's EA, but it's going to be on the Game Pass.
You know, one thing I hadn't even really thought about is that I really loved the online multiplayer modes, and those you can't really play anymore because there's just not enough people. But maybe the Legendary Edition will bring some more people online. So that'll be a neat opportunity to be able to revisit that, or at least I hope.
Mass Effect had multiplayer?
Oh yeah, not only that, it affected the single player.
What?
So in Mass
Really?
Effect, in Mass Effect 3, I know we didn't plan to talk about this, but since I've played the game 100 times, you have your galactic readiness score in Mass Effect 3. And as you gather more materials and you do more upgrades to the fleet and to the ships, and as you get more alien races to join in on the fight, your galactic readiness keeps going up. Well, if you don't do any online multiplayer, your highest readiness is 50%, I believe, or maybe it's 80%, something like that. And you have to play enough of the online multiplayer mode that will get you further upgrades in the single player campaign. So yeah, definitely there's a pretty big multiplayer component of Mass Effect.
I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, they had different modes where you could fight off waves, co-op style, but then they had other ones where it was more deathmatch. Yeah, it's all in there.
If this is on the Game Pass, I think I'm going to pick it up. Like, it seems worth it.
Yeah, it's so worth it. I know it's my favorite series, and I probably disproportionately talk about it, but especially if you can play through all three, it is so cool to see decisions you make in Mass Effect 1 play themselves out in Mass Effect 3. It's so fulfilling to go through the full story. And we already know whatever new games they make, it's going to be, I'm assuming, a brand new story, because they're not going to build off Andromeda the way that game just so underwhelmed everyone. So I wonder what they'll cook up. I wonder if it'll be like a prequel with Commander Shepard or completely different. I'm very curious.
I'll play it. I love the Mass Effect games, even though I never finished number 3. I totally played that game for like 30 hours and then just never touched it again. But I would definitely pick up a new Mass Effect game.
At this point, let's just review the remake.
Yeah.
All three of us are playing it.
May as well. I'd be down.
Right.
I'll do one on each Mass Effect. However many you're willing to give me, I'll do.
Mass Effect, a 17-part series.
Oh, I'll do one whole episode on the Rachni and just break down each alien race individually.
Paul's going to do a spin-off podcast of just Mass Effect.
Yep.
All right, well, that is our show for you today. Thank you for listening to This Week in Gaming episode. If you're not subscribed, make sure to go into your podcasting app and subscribe to get fresh content twice a week. If you're interested in finding out more information, you can find us on our website, multiplayerpodcast.com, Patreon, multiplayersquad.com, Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram, Multiplayer Pod. See you guys Monday.
See ya.
See you, everybody.
Happy Christmas, guys.
Merry Thanksgiving, Paul.
Merry Thanksgiving. That's just combine them both.
Yeah.
Just a joint holiday right there.
1 month of celebration.